exact same division, who would you give the edge to then?
I have to go with Amir Khan. Amir Khan's a slicker boxer. He got more speed, and Canelo is strong on that, but he's not as quick. And sometimes speed cannot maneuver a guy who's a little on the sluggish side. Canelo is a good puncher, but I think that Amir Khan got the speed and he can move. But then again, his jaw is sometimes kind of questionable. You see, so
his jaw betrays him sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have all the speed in the world, but if you get clocked one time on the chin, there you go, man. And you feel like you get buzzed and everything changes.
What do you think about Anthony Joshua? Is he like the new Mike Tyson of the heavyweight division, or what?
He's another fighter that's up and coming. I don't want to rush too quick and say he's another Mike Tyson, but he's an up and coming fighter that he's very promising.
Yeah. So you heard the news of what happened today, though, right? Anthony Joshua knocking out the champion Charles Martin.
No, I didn't hear about that. I've been busy all day, but that's a good step forward for him.
Yeah, he won the belt, and there was another undefeated fighter that he beat.
Okay, good, yeah. So let's see what happens, man. There's a lot of good young talent coming up the ranks. Boxing, I think, is back on the rise again.
Oh, and my last one, Errol Spence versus Chris Algieri.
Chris Algieri is a good boxer. He has a lot of skills. Errol Spence is good. Is a good boxer as well. That fight can go. Honestly, that fight can go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big. Then you look at this as a big step up then for Errol Spence, obviously.
Yeah. It's a good step for Errol Spence. Beating up a guy who was undefeated up until he lost his title, but he showed a good performance when he beat Provodnikov the first time. So Errol Spence is good. He's another promising fighter. Chris Algieri is getting up in age. He's about 31 now, so Errol Spence is a lot younger. So Errol Spence has a good chance there too.
I'm sorry, I gotta ask you one more thing. A lot of fans, a lot of boxers, they keep actually saying that Errol Spence is possibly the best, fighter at the welterweight division, even though he hasn't stepped up and fought that top level opposition yet. Why do you think that is?
Well, you said it, because he hasn't fought any top opposition yet. And if he gets by Chris Algieri, I ain't gonna start getting some.
No, I'm saying, but they're already, saying that he's the best already. I'm saying without stepping up in competition.
Oh, well, I think that's a little premature to say that you're already the best, but you got to really prove yourself. I mean, you can say this guy's the best out there, but let's put him in the ring with a guy who's a good puncher, a good boxer, and then we'll see. But I don't like to say you're one of the best out there without fighting any top competition. I would say he has great potentials.
You have to prove
be the best, but you got to prove it in the ring first.
Thanks for your time.
I have two questions that I want to ask you. Floyd Mayweather, or Roy Jones Jr.?
As what?
Who's better, Mayweather or Floyd Mayweather? Mayweather or Roy Jones Jr.?
Floyd Mayweather happens to be one of the best defensive and offensive fighters in the history of boxing. He's undefeated with 49 straight wins. He's one of the most difficult fighters. I refereed him about 4 times. I can tell you that he's so difficult to hit. He's smart. He's always like a chess game. He's trying to figure you out. He'll figure you out. You go from plan A to plan B. It doesn't work out. They go to plan C. You got all different. The guy's one of the smartest and sharpest fighters you want to see out there. And I think Floyd Mayweather definitely has proven himself to be one of the best for a simple reason. He's undefeated. I can't say that about Roy Jones. Great fighter, Roy Jones, and had great defense, but Jones have gotten hit a lot more punches than Floyd has in hit fights.
Now my second question is, you alluded to, or may have mentioned, that Canelo, on paper, could possibly be a mismatch. What's the biggest mismatch you've had in the ring and you was like, oh shit, it's going the other way?
Well, I'll tell you, a good example was Mike Tyson when he fought Kevin McBride. I mean, it was Tyson's last fight. But I mean, on paper, you look at everybody and say, this guy, Kevin McBride, is a palooka. He hasn't fought nobody. That's what everybody say. He's a palooka. He didn't fight nobody. Mike can knock him out. And what happened? I had to end up stopping the fight. Kevin McBride TKO Mike Tyson. So, styles makes fights. And then, of course, the age and the conditioning, all that. Oh, it has a lot of different issues. A lot of different things occur in a fighter's career. And it's all about conditioning. It's about dedication. And if you have all of those ingredients, and you mix them all together, you come out on top and be like a Floyd Mayweather.
Be like a Floyd Mayweather. Now, don't forget, Roy Jones would have been 50-0. if not for Montel Griffin.
Exactly. Roy Jones Jr. one of the better ones out there. He was definitely one of the best ones out there. No question about it. And I think he's great. He knows his boxing, and I saw him get knocked out recently, and I said, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. Fighters with that fame, and when I refereed Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Hector Camacho, it was a good paycheck for Sugar Ray Leonard, about $4 or $5 million. And what happened? He ended up getting stopped. And I stopped it when I saw he got hurt. He got dropped, he got up, and then when I saw he took a flurry of punches, his knees buckled, I jumped in and stopped him. I don't want to see fighters like legends like that end up getting hurt just because of the money. And Roy Jones, I think he's not broke. I know in his mind he feels he can still beat a lot of these guys out there. But in reality, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm getting up in age. I see my better days. And those fights that he got knocked out, especially the last one he got knocked out with an unknown fighter, it's telling you something. It's time to pack it in.
You've mentioned health. What goes to your mind when you hear, let's say, Shane Mosley speak, Meldrick Taylor speak today, and fighters like that, James Toney? What goes to your mind because you're the referee, you're the bridge to a healthy, clean fight? What goes to your mind?
I think, as a referee, first and foremost, my main concern is the safety of the fighters. Yes, and when I see fighters that have fought in the past and they retired today, and you hear them with us slurred, and you wonder, what the heck, maybe they took a little bit too much. And a lot of these fighters, what happens is that they have these gym wars. In these gym wars, they take a lot of punishment in there, and they can get buzzed while training, and then the doctors will tell you if you got a concussion, you got to take a rest. And these guys back in the gym the next day and the day after that, and they go into the fights as damaged goods already, and before you know it, they have a tough fight, and they retired. A couple of years later, you see these guys, you say, wow, man, what happened to that guy? Then you got to say, that's why I try to tell referees, you see a guy taking too much punishment, stop. I'd rather you stop at a punch too soon than a punch too late.
You ever cried after a fight? My last question, I'm sorry. You ever cried after a fight? You referee?
I felt very, very bad when I refereed a fight named Robert Wangila against a guy named Fernandez. And I didn't cry at the fight, but I cried afterwards when I saw his two daughters and his wife at the funeral parlor. When he got hurt in this fight that he was winning, I stopped it. And he was protesting that I stopped. The fans were booing because I stopped it. But I saw something that I didn't like, even though he was ahead at the end of the last round. It was not a non-title fight, but Robert Wangila was a former Olympic champion from Kenya, and he fought another fighter that was not the best, but Robert Wangila was not at the top of his game. He had lost about 3 or 4 of his last 4 fights. And so I was watching him close. He was doing okay, but in the last round there, he got wobbled, he got hurt a little bit, then he took 2 punches, and I jumped in and stopped it. And the fans were booing me because, why you stop this fight, Joe? He's okay. The doctor checked him out in the ring, and the doctor said, Joe, he's okay. The kid said, I'm okay. You're the ref. Why did you stop this fight? They walk out of the ring, go into the dressing room, and then they come running out 15 minutes later. He's having seizures back there. They rushed him to the hospital, and unfortunately, they found he had a massive blood clot in his brain, and before you know it, 2 days later he dies. So I was sad because I had to go to the funeral and see his 2 little daughters and his wife there, and they all hugged me and they said, Mr. Cortez, thank you for trying to save my husband, my dad, when he was getting hurt. And everybody thought that you were doing the wrong thing, but actually you were doing the right thing. And the tears come to my eyes. I feel very sad because you hate to see a family lose a father in a sport that we're involved with. And God knows that I try to treat these fighters like they're my sons. And I try to protect them at all times.
Thank you, Jim. Hall of Famer.